For joining us here on this very hot Monday at noon. I'm Brooke Hash. It is a weather impact alert day with some scorching temperatures out there, Matt Breland.
Yeah, I was just outside a few moments ago. Literally just went out to my car for about 30 seconds.
Make sure your mic's on there.
This is part of the TV life there.
There you go.
All right, there we go. So anyway, I was saying I was walking out to my car earlier, and within just 30 seconds, it immediately just started hitting me.
Yeah.
It's that type
Hits
of
you
heat.
like a brick.
Yeah, it's that type of heat where it has a weight to it for sure. So we're going to continue to stay under a heat advisory until 8 p.m. on Tuesday. So we still have a full day of this heat that we have to deal with along with tomorrow. The heat will be continuing with us. This heat advisory is in place for all of Kentuckiana, including southern Indiana and all of Kentucky. This strong heat wave is still going to be around. It's all because we have a lot of sunshine lasting along with a steady amount of humidity that keeps on coming in from these southerly winds. Temperatures already at 91 degrees, but feeling like 98 degrees. So that is definitely some dangerous heat. You want to make sure that you're limiting your time outdoors. Check on your pets too, because that's another situation that can occur whenever we see this type of dangerous heat. You want to make sure that they're limiting their time outdoors as well. 90s for most of us at the moment. We're going to all be in the 90s as we head later on into our afternoon time. Plenty of sunshine continuing. Not really expecting any passing clouds throughout the next upcoming minutes. As we go later on into the afternoon, the possibility for seeing some of those brief isolated summertime showers and thunderstorms will be possible. Closer towards 3 p.m. and in between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. will be the timing that we could see some of that activity pop up. But into our evening hours, we're expected to stay quiet and dry. We'll start our Tuesday morning off with another round of sunshine with temperatures making their way back into those 90s once again. So this heat advisory in place for our afternoon and evening hours for today and for tomorrow. We're going to have more details all about this dangerous heat wave coming up here in just a few short minutes. Brooke?
All right, Matt, thank you. Our top story here at noon, the Department of Homeland Security is warning of a heightened threat environment in the U.S. following President Trump's surprise attack against Iran's nuclear facilities over the weekend. In a bulletin, the DHS warned the low-level cyber attacks against U.S. networks are likely. Concerns are also growing about the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial global shipping lane for oil, as Iran threatens to block shipping. This is the moment the U.S. struck one of Iran's 3 key nuclear sites. U.S. Air Force planes dropped 14 bombs capable of penetrating deep underground. The fallout from this strike raising questions of what happens next.
No, we're not at war with Iran, John. We're at war with Iran's nuclear program. We want Iran to give up their nuclear weapons program peacefully.
President Trump also appeared to entertain the idea of a regime change in Iran, posting on social media, if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? Now, questions are also remaining as to how much of this nuclear program was destroyed in Saturday's attack. President Trump said the facilities were obliterated, but the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff said it's too early to tell the full scope.
Final battle damage will take some time, but initial battle damage assessments indicate that all 3 sites sustained extremely severe damage and destruction.
Satellite imagery shows the damage to that 3 nuclear facility area targeted in the attack. The Trump administration has said one of the underground facilities targeted was where the 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs were dropped. Tension is high now in that region for American troops and Americans living overseas. The embassy in Qatar today issued a shelter in place for all Americans in that country until further notice. Closer to home, feelings about all of this are very mixed around the Fort Knox post. Our Clary Shaley and photojournalist Aspen Hester spent time over the weekend talking with veterans and those living near the Army post.
Are we going to war, or what's going on at this point?
Why are we even trying to instigate something else?
Questions from people living around Fort Knox after U.S. missiles struck 3 nuclear sites in Iran Saturday.
President Trump say, hey, let's do this a peaceful diplomatic, but then you wake up and here he fired, rockets into Iran. It's kind of like a scary thought.
President Trump sent warnings to Iran to make peace while fighting continues in Israel and Iran. The Trump administration made the decision to send a missile strike without involving Congress.
Is that technically unconstitutional? Because apparently you have to go through Congress to declare any act of war, don't you?
I asked Spalding University professor of global leadership, Dr. Kurt Jefferson, about it.
And I think in this case, this would be seen as a limited kind of strike or incursion not a full-out war necessarily.
Marine veteran Pedro Medina worries how American allies will react to this attack.
The threat of nuclear scares a lot of people.
Now, I spoke to a man off camera who tells me he believes this was a good decision on Trump's part. Medina says that he would go back to service in a heartbeat, but he's not so sure the younger generation feels the same. With life around a military base,
It sounds like they've been ramping up more military drills and stuff here lately.
They already sent that memo out saying, hey, our security is going to increase at the gates.
people we spoke to noticed changes.
You know, being prior military, yeah, you know, you start noticing things.
And are left to wonder what will happen next, with Trump insisting we will not go to war. Near Fort Knox, Marie Shaley, WHAS11, on your side.
Trump and his allies are warning Iran not to retaliate against the U.S., urging them to instead work for peace. Iran has already promised to retaliate, promising everlasting consequences. Well, here in Kentucky, a manhunt is underway for an escaped inmate. 28-year-old Jared Barnes from Elizabethtown reportedly walked away from the Bluegrass Career and Development Center in Madison County Sunday. Barnes was serving a sentence for multiple charges, including drug-related offenses and engagement in organized crime. He is described as 5 feet 9 inches tall, 206 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes and several tattoos on his chest and arms. He was last seen wearing a white tank top, black sweatpants, and white tennis shoes. Anyone who may have information about Barnes' location is asked to call local law enforcement or the KSP Post 7. The number's there at your screen, 859-623-2404. Barnes is known to frequent E-Town, Jefferson, Hardin, and surrounding counties. A man charged with murder after a deadly bar fight in Okolona Sunday pleaded not guilty to the crime this morning. LMPD responded to the Corner Tavern off Preston Highway and Mount Washington Road early Sunday morning and found a man with life-threatening injuries. According to arrest records, witnesses told police the suspect, 28-year-old Christopher Foley, was angry about money, threw the victim to the ground, and hit him repeatedly. The victim later died at the hospital. A judge set Foley's bond at $250,000 this morning. He'll be back in court next Tuesday, July 1st. A scare at a West Louisville grocery store triggered a massive police response Sunday. Officers responded to multiple reports of an active aggressor inside that Kroger on West Broadway around 8:30 last night. Police said a teen or young adult entered that store with a mask and a handgun, prompting multiple 911 calls. But no shots were ever fired and no one was hurt. As you can imagine, there was still a moment of panic for shoppers inside that store.
Next thing you know, all you hear is, "Get down! Get down! Get down!" So immediately my heart dropped. I felt my body go numb. The only thing that I could think about was protecting this lady and her kids.
LMPD said officers were on scene within 60 seconds of that initial call and immediately began clearing the store and 2 nearby restaurants to ensure public safety. Police are asking anyone with information to call that tip line 574 LMPD. Police say no charges are expected after a man on an electric scooter was hit and killed by a car Saturday. It happened just before 5 a.m. on Dixie Highway near Blevins Gap Road. Witnesses said the man was riding in the right lane when he was hit by a car. The driver stayed at the scene and was cooperative with police.